we are really grateful to see all of you on the webinar today. It's going to be a very interesting session. We're going to cover a lot of the game development from my colleague Alexander here, and he will introduce himself, and then I will, Andreas Christensen, the founder of Super.One, will take you through the new affiliate update we have. We have done tremendous development. We're going to cover most of it today, and we will over the next few days keep additional webinars because there are so many updates all the time, and they are major and they are significant in terms of value for you, in terms of promotions, in terms of new releases. So we need to update all our material continuously. We will cover that. We will have 2 Q&A sessions today. We will have first introduction by Alexander and some surprise in that. Then we will he will cover a little bit of the game, and then I will come in and introduce the new affiliate, not the new, but the upgraded affiliate platform. And then I will have information about the technology development, and we will have a Q&A, and we also have received quite a few questions by email. So thank you to all of you that's been doing that, and we hope the technology is with us today in a better sense. So let's get started. Alex, I think you can get started with your game thing, and I'm gonna progress this as good as we can.
That's good. Hey everyone. I'm Alex. I'm head of games and responsible for the game development. I've been working for Google for more than 5 years in the previous past, and I've been passionate about gaming, sports, football for more than 25 years. So we're bringing all this experience into creating this game. And there's a lot of fanatical fans out there, and there's a lot of people that are even more fanatical than I am. In fact, one of them is one of my best friends. We brought him in here as a creative content. Morten, come in here. Say hi to Morten.
Hi guys, I'm Morten. I'm the content of football. As you can see, I'm a true Manchester United fan, and I've followed them since the early 90s. I've been several times at Old Trafford and watched every game every week. This club is my passion. I also spend a lot of time to playing FIFA, so much of my time is going to football. I think this game has an amazing potential, and fans all over the world will be amazed for this game. Thank you.
What do you do with the game?
What
do you do with the game?
I made all of the database, the questions, and yeah.
What are your friends? You have a lot of friends that are kind of football nerdy like you. What do they think about?
I want to bring the game who can take all with my friends to see how amazing this game are, and they can compete with each other, and yeah.
Good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Morten.
See
you. All right. Should we go straight?
Advance a little bit here?
Yeah.
And you reflect a little bit. What you're going to do now is to, as far as I know, reflect a little bit about some key elements of the game.
Yes.
Just to be not too long, maybe 10 minutes, to give an insight in the development.
What I want to do is to bring our people inside our heads. For the reason is that you can understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. So let's jump straight into the game and just feature the game modes, because that's a crucial part of the game. The game modes are offering a diversity, which means that we're enabling people to play whenever they can. They can play wherever they are, whenever they, what time they're in, and let's just jump straight into it. We have quick play, for instance. Quick play, you can play on the bus, you can play in the bathroom. It's a 5-minute game, even shorter. You can play whenever you want. You have challenge. Maybe you have a friend which is claiming to have more knowledge than you in football, and prove him wrong. Challenge him. Make sure that you are the most knowledgeable of you two. You can play ranked matches to climb the leaderboards for fame and glory, and you can compete in tournaments for real cash prizes.
But a question, Alex,
Yes.
you've been into this development now for quite a few months, and together with our gaming experts in
Yeah.
US. So what do you feel about the detailed features that you are actually designing and
Ooh.
testing?
It's all in the details. I will dig
Can
into.
you mention a few details that you know will kind of entice, excite the audience?
We have a lot of things that are, well, in first off, the game modes itself are exciting because they are widely known in the gaming industry and are.
Why are these game modes sort of interesting? Because they give.
They give the diversity because the game modes are different for every players, so we have something that fits for everyone.
What will diversity mean to the guys here and the people here that have a lot of tokens, that have a lot of financial interest in the game? What will diversity mean for them in sense of, in example, addressable audience?
Yes, that's a good question, and I think also the answer is here is that we are targeting everyone. With the diversity of our game modes, we are not excluding people because everyone can play a certain game mode depending on their interest and desire. Yeah. So someone just might want to.
We have a broad audience, and we are reaching them in many different situations throughout the day.
You have the quick play, which is a super easy entry model, and you have
we're
the
not going to
tournaments.
spend too much time on it. We talked a lot about the game. Let's reflect a little bit around our unique selling point with the tournament structure.
Yes.
And how that ties into your experience with FIFA, your experience as an athlete yourself,
yes,
both football and golf, and also a little bit of betting, I believe.
This is where we get the fanatical interest for the part. This is where the competitive aspect of the game. And this is where the players are retaining themselves based on the competitive spirit. Not only the tournaments here, as you can see with the where you can climb the $1 million staircase to win great prizes, but you also have a game mode that is called the ranked matches, where you can fight for your rating just to claim that you're the best in your region.
Fight for bragging rights.
Yes, fight for bragging rights. And for many players, that is enough to retain within the game.
But when you worked with Google, you were part of designing services, etc. Yep. And how do you resonate? How can you bring any knowledge from that work, which is one of the leading companies in the world, to our little bodega?
It's a good question. And from working with one of the biggest brands that is out there, you will definitely learn a few things in terms of structure, how to work.
They have better lunches than we have.
No, they don't. But they have a pool table, so or a pinball machine. But in terms, it's all about having fun while you're doing it and being playful, and make sure that it doesn't have to be that hard. It has to be simple, understandable, easy, accessible. And that is in the keywords for Google as well: universally, easy, and accessible.
We're gonna come back to that.
Yes.
Let's move a little bit on. There is particular one feature we discussed.
We have several features. I mean,
so the floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, so the game modes itself are exciting, but it's often not enough to retain the players within the game. This means that we need to add a lot of elements to the game, which you might not think about at the first sight. This is called gamification. Every aspect of the gaming industry today are using gamification in one way or another. What we're doing is we are taking the best practice, we're adopting it, and we're improving it to our game. And this can be so small minor things like sounds, vibration, flashing lights, pop-ups, all kinds of interactive features within the game to create an adrenaline-fueled experience for you. That is what we call retention. This is what keeps the players within the game.
Can you mention a couple of these? You remember we discussed prior to this meeting about one of the most recent features we kind of adopting into the game. Yeah, it's a little kind of nasty feature for the counterpart.
It sure is a tricky one. I mean, and I'm not sure if it has been implemented into this genre before. And
we mean into trivia games.
Yes,
it's never been done in trivia games.
Never been done in trivia games. And We have a lot of features, but let's discuss this feature.
Yeah.
And for now, let's call it gems.
Gems. Yeah.
Gems. I think that's a nice word. What the gems are doing in terms of the gameplay is that they are acting as disruptors. This means that you are able to purchase a small amount of gems, different colors. They all have different abilities, and you can use them as an offensive spell towards your opponent.
So it's a little bit like shooting someone in a shooter game.
Precisely.
Okay. So what is the feature? Tell me.
Yes, but just hang on here. Imagine that you're sitting at a prize tournament during the finals, and you're saving your gems, and now you're starting tossing the gems out to increase your chances of winning, right? So, and the gems have different sides of perks. Let's say, number one, it's a flip attack. This means that it will flip your opponent's question.
Yeah, I think we, just to make it clear, we have two types of gems. We have attacking gems, and we have protection gems.
Yes, I'm getting it. Let's take the offense ones first.
Yeah.
The attack ones. Attack is always fun. So we have a flip attack, where you turn the question around for your opponent. You have swipe attack, where true is false and false is true. So you swipe the opposite direction. You also have a time attack, where you actually double up the speed on the question for your opponent. But for every offense, there is a defense, which means you're also able to buy shields to block the spell, or you're able to buy mirrors to reflect the spell. And this is creating an unpredictable gameplay. And this also increases the replayability for the game.
Yes.
This
is a crucial part of the whole retention strategy to keep people coming back. And I think now we talked about one little feature. Maybe it's not so easy to visualize how it will work.
We can't visualize it. It's too secret.
I think we should cover a little bit more now about the development that you are heading up.
As far as I know, you guys are very impatient about the game, and you want to see bits and pieces. You want to see it, try it, test it, grab it, feel it. But as we did in Google, we never ever showcased or released an unfinished product. And this is the same case here. There's a lot of work behind this, but I can show you guys what has been done and what's down the pipeline as well. Let's say, for instance, we have the UX that's delivered by Fantasy. It's done, sealed, completed. We're working with some of the best gaming experts in the industry, with proven track record for major commercial successes like Call of Duty. That's a quite big game. Battlefield. And it's a lot about testing, and more testing to make sure that everything is working as intended at all times. That is a very time crucial and time consuming development part. And now with Morten on the team as well, we're able to implement the content database as well. So there's a lot of exciting things going on, and I'm quite sure we're going to be successful with this. We have tons of retention parts. We have attractive game modes. We're sort of covering all of the aspects of gaming industry and following the recipe and creating our own recipe for this.
We all are impatient. We really want to move it fast. Of course, we like we discussed the time frame. We are to deliver a game in all over the world. We have already affiliates in 214 out of 247 legal jurisdictions in the world. So we are basically covering every corner of the world. And we will need to be in all app stores. We need, and even more importantly, we need to be available on a wide variety of handsets. And in the world, not everyone is in a modern iPhone or a modern Android. There are some distributions that is not that advanced, and there is not only the distribution of the phones, it's also the networks, etc. So we have very comprehensive testing, and you have some experience with that also.
Definitely, and it's a very time-consuming work, but it's all to make sure that when we deliver the product into the market, it's free of faults, it's bug-free, and it's working as intended. It's a premium straight out of the blocks.
Yeah, but we are steaming really very well forward, and we are progressing every day. So in the meantime, let's reflect a little bit about the cards that we are much closer to launch.
Yes, I think the cards we're able to launch within, let's say, few weeks.
Yeah. 2-3 weeks.
And the cards are inflicted on, or they work as a tool also within the game. And you're able to own a card or rent a card. If you own a card, you have a share of interest for those who are renting the card in the game.
We covered all that.
All right.
What you can cover is a little bit more of the football expertise that you brought in.
Yes.
With Martin and his team, and what they're doing with the cards and the whole Champions League thing.
Yeah.
Because it's
we're using Champions League for reference for the players that should be available for the cards, and also legends, the all-stars, the players who retired but are an icon.
Yeah,
big players, and also because a lot of these players who are playing in the Champions League are very relevant to our questions. These are well-known players around the...
How are the cards tied into the gameplay experience in order to create a demand and usability of these cards inside the game, not from an investor perspective or a token holder perspective, but more from
player perspective.
From a player perspective.
From a player perspective, the cards are the best tools you can buy. The tools gives you a free pass to the question straight away with full percentage of the timer. This means you don't lose any seconds from the timer, you just instant get it.
And there is a difference if you hold a card before the game, or if you circle tap like we showcased before, because you will spend time circle tapping.
Precisely.
So there is an advantage. Yeah.
And let's say if you play a tournament, you're of course you will want to use the cards to increase your chances of winning. So and there's also a collectible value of this as well.
Definitely, because they have a financial value, that the way we constructed them.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on. I think we need to move a little bit here and make sure we progress. We have a lot to cover on my side also. So we already covered this development path. We are doing pretty well. We are now consolidating on the game development a little bit to tie up all the, when we have processes like it, there comes tons of ideas. And we are not going to bring all of those ideas in one go. So we have to kind of rationalize and consolidate. And that's what we're doing next couple of weeks also. So I think we should I'll be a little bit careful with this. Let the animations play here. We are playing now our presentation live, streaming live keynote to have perfect video, etc. So there's a little bit different environment than we are used to be honest. So bear with us. Monday was awful, and let's try to be better today. So we are in the midst of this development. Like I said, NFT cards is already work in progress with our development from the affiliate team. We will enable the usage of credits, and we reserve 10% of the NFT scheme for you guys. So you are able to purchase them with all the credits you have on the platform, and you will be able to hold this for future value increase or whatever you prefer. So now we can have a little bit of Q&A with, if somebody has questions for Alex or for me related to the game itself, we can do that now. I will prefer we just stay on this system and you use the Q&A. I will read the questions we might have here. Okay, there's a question from Jana. If you own a card, whether you can use it one time or many times?
If you own a card, it's yours and it's working forever. That's one of the perks of owning a card instead of renting it. That's your card. But you're also able to rent it out to make money from it.
Okay, and there is a question from T about how much was an NFT card cost?
Oh, that's highly.
That's been a long discussion. That's been a long discussion.
What I can say for now is that it will vary a lot. For instance, there are some players are far more attractive than other players, and that is what the value will be based on. Because for a card to be super valuable, in terms of the game and renting. It should be a player that has a lot of questions related to it. So
let's put it this way. We have only for football, we have nearly 50 million cards. And of course, like you say, there's a big diversity between a small local player. We are using Champions League as the framework. So it's 768 players every season. And that dates back 50 years. In addition to that, we have like icons and legends and these kind of things. So there is more or less an unlimited resource for us to do this. We have to kind of protect it by the number of cards we issue for every season and every player. That's the thing. So when you ask, okay, what will a card of, we always use Messi or Ronaldo because everyone know what will a card cost. We kind of said most of our cards will cost $5 to $10.
Yes.
But we also have a little bit more expensive cards. So if you say $50 million, average $10, you have $500 million in a card scheme, only for you guys to earn validation fees, to earn transaction fees. So when you buy these first cards, they will even have some perks we haven't even made public yet. So the first Genesis cards will contain some extra perks that you will really love. It will give you a priority and higher financial gain. I will revert back to that later. The card scheme, that was only the European football. Then we have, of course, American football, we have Indian hockey, we have a lot. So the NFT scheme can become really, really prevalent in our business and become a main source of income for us, maybe the biggest one.
And what is revolutionary about this, or really good, is that it has an utility in the game. I think that's quite unique.
It's not like many of the NFTs out there now where you buy a piece of a land and you actually don't have any usage of it. We are building the NFTs purposely into the game, so they have a tremendous intrinsic value. And what you're buying is not actually the card, you're buying the right answer to questions, to knowledge. You're buying knowledge, basically. You can consider it like buying a part of Wikipedia. And when you enter into a competition, you're able to leverage that knowledge. So that's really cool. And they ask if the game is a separate app or included in the affiliate. Okay, my vision, and many people are against this, my vision is to have it in the same app and the affiliate app just become a small little tab, because basically we want everything to be in the same system. That's how we have designed the whole smart network. The whole platform we're operating on is designed with multi-tiered affiliate system, which our network is, an unlimited multi-tiered network. And we're gonna plug in the players into that. And we have promised you before that we'll put half of the players in the performance pool and the other half into the binary on a link recurring basis. And that we're going to do. And we're going to start doing that already when we start with the NFT scheme. Because there will be a need for us to market the NFTs outside the community of Super.One. What we will do then is that those who buy this will be on a link rotation. So we will use your links to let them sign up to Super.One. And by then already starting giving you potential players, potential investors. At the same time, we will do a fan collection round, which we discussed a lot with Morten and his friends. I'm unfortunately not in the football circles, but I learn a lot from these young guys. And we're gonna have something that's really, really cool. And I would like to mention in that connection that Ingo Mebus, our master affiliate, is also now in very close connection with some of the top football players in Germany. One of them is playing on the national team. And I think Ingo, if he were able to shoot in, that he is very, very close to have closed him in as a stakeholder in Super.One. And when one of them start coming, they usually come in, what do you call it, herds. Yeah. So we are really looking into that. And thank you, Ingo, for doing that. It has a great inspiration. And you want to see a few more images of the cards. We're not going to do that today. We will release our previous presentation that was pretty exhaustive. And they ask for the date of launching, and you can maybe answer that question once and for all, because we are well progressed, but we are not ready to launch today, but we are not that far away either.
Well, as everything else, we're ready when we're ready, right? But to set a time frame on this, 2021.
Yeah, and there is a couple of things that is outside our control. One thing is we need, when they go into app stores, there's always a review process, and you work with one of the app stores, Google. We spent with our affiliate app, I think it was more than 2 months with Apple, because they have some new rigid thing, they are changing the things, they are spending a lot of time. So we spent a lot of time with Apple, and we envision we will need, and they will not accept anything before it's finished. It's not like you can get a pre-approval. You need to submit the finished product, and once it's finished, they will just release it or give green light to release it. So there's no way we can get a pre-approval, and we know that games like this involve maybe crypto, it involves affiliate. It is a lot of questions coming back from legal side. So that's something we unfortunately we cannot start it, but we will get through it, and it's just a matter of going through the red tape, sort of. Okay. Yes, so somebody saying that the iOS is missing the buying section, and that's completely correct. It's an Apple requirement that we're going to use their purchasing means, like Apple Pay, in example, or in-app purchases when we have an app on their platform. And obviously, we are paying out 75% commission, and Apple is taking 30%. So that's not a very viable option for us. And they are paying, I think it's more than 30 days after a month. So that will say in some senses 60, 45 days in average until you're paid. So that's not a very viable option. And they are extremely expensive. In the game, we are required to be there. But we did a little bit of testing, not testing, but statistics on our platform. 80% of our users are on Android. So we kind of serving 80% there with the full-fledged app. We had to withdraw some of the parts. That's why we spent more than 2 months with Apple. I think it was nearly 3 months. So is it possible for you to make a template at Vistaprint that we get nice to have something marketing material? Wow, are people still doing that on paper?
Yeah, it's working. Well,
it's working on paper.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
great.
definitely.
Vistaprint. Yes, we can always do a template for that. It's not very difficult. What I think now, if we finish with that Q&A.
Yes, someone was